Alright, picture this. No Wi-Fi, no scrolling, no just one more video. Sounds a bit like a nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly where our story begins. The Wi-Fi died at precisely 7:42 p.m. It wasn't a slow, graceful fade. It was just, poof, gone. My brother Ion stared at his tablet like it had just told him a terrible secret. Is it charging? He asked, a little panicked. My sister Zara was tapping her phone screen with way too much force. No, she said, frustrated. It's not loading. My dad, bless his heart, was refreshing the router page like a man trying to perform CPR. My mom, ever the realist, sighed from the kitchen. She already knew the truth. Looks like the internet's down. Everyone, she announced. And then, silence. But not the peaceful, zen kind. It was the awkward, what do we do with our hands? Kind of silence. Ion groaned dramatically. So, what are we supposed to do now? Talk to each other, Zara chuckled. Pretty sure that's illegal after dinner. My dad leaned back on the sofa, a classic dad story twinkle in his eye. You know, when I was your age, here we go. Both kids chimed in, perfectly in sync. But before the story could begin, the lights flickered. Once, twice, and then, complete darkness. A power cut. Now, it was serious. Mom reappeared from the kitchen, a single candle in her hand. She lit it, and the small flame danced, throwing these soft, wobbly shadows across the living room walls. The whole space felt different. It was quieter, slower. There were no dings from notifications, no buzzing phones, no glowing screens begging for our attention. It was just the four of us, sitting in one room, surrounded by a gentle, flickering light. This is weird, Zara whispered, her voice softer than usual. Dad smiled. This is normal, he said. We just forgot. We all just sat there for a moment, listening to the sound of nothing, just the faint hum of the city outside. Then Mom broke the quiet. Okay, she said, her voice warm. Since we're officially trapped in the Stone Age, who wants to tell a story? Ion raised an eyebrow. Like a real story without a screen. Yep, she confirmed. No edits, no filters, no Dad went first. He told us about the very first phone he ever owned. It was this black, heavy brick of a thing, and its only purpose was to call one person at a time. Zara laughed so hard, she almost snuffed out the candle. Then it was Zara's turn, and she shared something none of us expected. She talked about school, about how some days she felt totally invisible, how she would pretend not to care about things when, deep down, she really, really did. And for the first time, no one interrupted, no one glanced at a dead screen. Ion shuffled a little closer to her on the couch. When it was his turn, he spoke quietly. I miss when we used to play board games, he admitted. You know, before everyone got so busy. The candlelight flickered on his face. Mom reached over and squeezed his hand gently. I miss that too, honey. In that soft darkness, we just talked. We laughed. We teased Dad about his terrible jokes. We argued about who was the funnier sibling. An hour passed, then another. But honestly, no one was counting. Time just sort of melted away. And then, just as suddenly as it left, the power snapped back on. The router blinked its little green lights back to life. Phones started buzzing all at once, a chaotic symphony of notifications exploding like digital fireworks. But for a long moment, no one moved. We just sat there, blinking in the sudden brightness. Dad was the first to speak. Should we maybe leave the Wi-Fi off for a bit longer? Zara, surprisingly, nodded. Yeah, just 5 more minutes. Ion smiled, a real, genuine smile. You know, he said, silence isn't actually that scary. Mom leaned over and blew out the candle. And for the first time in a very long time, our house felt truly connected without a single bar of signal. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes, losing your connection is the only way to find each other again. Thanks for watching, and remember to unplug every once in a while. Catch you in the next one.